Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba Hashem, Yahushua, Ba Hashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders. Salutations to you, sincere brothers, teaching in truth and sincerity. Lesson will be entitled The Results of a Fierce King. Lord will, you are edified. My source, BBC. As you can see, more than 1,000 people laid off at U.S. State Department, published 2 days ago. More than 1,000 employees of the U.S. State Department have been laid off as part of the Trump administration's efforts to reduce its federal workforce. The involuntary staff reductions included 1,107 civil service and 246 foreign service employees, according to a notice sent to State Department employees on Friday and obtained by CBS News, the BBC's U.S. news partner. Shows you BBC is controlled. More than 1,500 other State Department employees took voluntary departures earlier this year as part of the federal government's massive reorganization effort. Critics have argued the mass cuts will affect the work the department does. CBS News reported that nearly all civil service officers in the Bureau of Population, Refugees, and Migration's Office of Admissions, a program that resettles refugees in the U.S., were cut. Individuals who worked for the State Department's coordinator for Afghan relocation efforts office were also among the cuts. Videos shared on social media show civil service members in the lobby of the department leaving the building with their belongings. Other employees are seen applauding former colleagues and hugging one another. Outside the building, protesters gather with signs that read, "Thank you to America's diplomats, and we all deserve better." It's not a consequence of trying to get rid of people, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said while in Malaysia on Thursday. But if you close the bureau, you don't need those positions. Understand that some of these are positions that are being eliminated, not people. Democrats on the Senate Foreign Relations Committee issued a statement saying the decision to fire hundreds of members of the civil service and foreign service at the Department of State undermines our national security. While there are target reforms that our government can pursue to maximize the impact of every tax dollar, that's not what this is, the senators wrote. Blanket and indiscriminate cuts, the legacy from Elon Musk's failed Doge effort, weaken our government's ability to deliver for the American people in a cost-effective manner. The layoffs come just days after the Supreme Court ruled that the Trump administration's plan to slash the size of the federal workforce could move forward. Earlier this year, in a letter notifying Congress of the department's intention to reduce its workforce by 18% through voluntary departures and layoff, the department said it had more than 18,700 U.S.-based employees. The cuts to the workforce originate from a campaign promise from President Donald Trump: cut government spending. Over $120,000 in salary and benefits on average are saved annually for every position ended. A win for taxpayers. Reducing the size of government is always a good thing. How many of y'all voted for your president? Now you want to complain and cry. Please, you're getting what you asked for. Soulless maggots don't care about people losing their jobs, government jobs or not. They are literally gleeful about the trials for others. It appears they are only happy when others suffer. What are you making, America? And that's pretty much it. Okay, so of course we have what? More than 1,000 people laid off at the U.S. State Department, published 2 days ago, of course. The results of a fierce king or Salakia, it should be the results of a cruel king, right? Isaiah 19:4, and the Egyptians, and of course, these Americans are modern day Egyptians, will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord. Donald Trump is that cruel Lord. Hand meaning what? He will rule over these Americans, okay, as president. And a fierce king, and this man is very fierce. Look how he gets down. Look at his background, okay? And also, when it comes to the welfare of the American people, he don't give a damn. Although he is a nationalist, most important, also, he is a globalist. So he does the bidding for the elite. Okay, so and the Egyptians will I give over into the hand of a cruel Lord, Donald Trump, and a fierce king shall rule over them, said the Lord, Yahweh of hosts. And the results of this fierce king is verse 15. Neither shall there be any work for Egypt. Work is going into what? Employment, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do. So all social classes will be affected. Okay? Your upper middle class, your middle class, okay? The poor, all right, the so-called rich, everyone will be affected. Remember this, the middle class is the lifeline of a fucking economy. And we're seeing the middle class getting annihilated. Now, in regards to these individuals, I didn't fact check, but more than likely, okay, they're doing at least or pretty close to six figures. Just depends on, their grade, meaning their position as they entered into this workforce. And then, of course, over a process of time, they can progress or elevate, which means what? More money. Let's go to Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter, in verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, your economists and the strong men shall bow themselves, so-called rich, and the grinders cease because there are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. The results of that cruel Lord. And don't get it twisted. Everything that happens on earth, okay, everything, every single fucking thing is within the will of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And that's why it's extremely important, Micah 2:10, to arise you and depart from a spiritual sense. For this is not your rest. America is not our rest, because it is polluted from a spiritual sense and from a physical sense. It shall destroy you even with a sore destruction. So if you get caught up out here, and I'm talking about Israelites, modern day Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans based on the lineage of our fathers, their sore destruction is what you being left behind, okay, and getting nuked when America gets nuked. Lord will, this was edifying. Shalom.